Every day, there is something really new that I also learned about Africa. And one of the strange things is when they discovered a bone which suggests that complex mathematics might have been in Africa even in a prehistorical age. Like, how did those humans of back then have mathematics which could even count numbers in base 12? And I'm still using a calculator today to know my change. So the bone itself, which explains what actually happened back then, is called the Ishango bone. This was discovered in 1960 in today's country of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And the real time in which it was kind of varies depending on how people do their research, but it's estimated to be around 20,000 years ago, putting it in way back in the times, like really long back. Not even around Jesus, not even around, I don't know, whoever. Long time back again, long before even the Egyptians and all those historical, really long time that we think of. Which, the strange thing about it, it's how, despite how old it has some marks which suggest complex mathematics. For example, these marks which are visible on the bone suggest that there might be marks of counting. So in one form, they believe there might have been a form of counting which was divided by columns. The column 1 containing a series of prime numbers from 2 to 19, column 2 representing a doubling sequence, and then another one which could be a base 12 system. Some researchers suggest that it might have been a way of counting by grouping on a base 12 system, which is different comparatively to how we're using today a base 10 system. But that's not the only interpretation that these bones could actually have. Some suggest also that it might not be some mathematical counting stuff, but it might be also a lunar calendar, which means with these bones and how it was marked, they were tracking the different phases of the moon, which could definitely give a way to interpret or know the seasons that are coming. But then other researchers also think it's just a random bone which has some inscription on it, maybe it doesn't mean anything. But the most usually agree with these don't seem random, they seem so much in order to just be random stuff that it's either they were counting with it or it was literally a calendar. So the Ishango bone is just one piece among so many other things that we have seen in Africa which definitely blow our mind, or prehistorical stuff that we wonder like how could people back then be this much smart, because we don't expect that out of them. But like, how could they have this much? Remember about the pyramid of Egypt, which up until now is still not yet understood of how exactly it was done, that they had to use such really huge stones. By the way, I made a video on one of the theory about how they might have done it. And in all of this, we end up just understanding that there is much more that Africa, that history has, that we don't understand until now. And maybe even before the history that I think is the history of today, the history that influenced the life, religion, the politics and everything, before that, people were actually smart enough to count. That's really strange. Thanks so much for being here. Catch you next time.